Yo, JTS After Dark, what's up? Long time no see.
JTS After Dark is back. Oh, we are back. It has been a while. It has been
Yeah,
a while.
brief
Of course,
hiatus.
I'm your
Couple
owner and
things just
host,
happened.
Justin Jackson. Of course, we have Jai. Some personal shit
Yo,
going on. Hey, life gets busy, people. And then we have Jai from the Hey Jai podcast.
but we do have some
We got
cool
a
things
little
coming too,
NFL
Justin.
trade deadline. Have a little.
Yes, I
That
was
is
saying we
true.
got some cool
That is
things
true. That
coming.
also
Uh,
happens. So it's
yeah, but yeah,
yeah. I mean, that's also true. It's not like we just have a hiatus and don't do anything. We actually have to do anything during. We actually do things during our hiatuses.
facts.
But we have NFL
Hiatus.
trade deadline. So wow. The midseason superlatives, some NBA talk. As usual, this show will probably break down into nothingness, and this won't be helpful to your life at all. However, we are going
You're
to
gonna probably get a
attempt.
good laugh.
You're definitely gonna get a laugh. We're gonna attempt to slide some knowledge in there at some point. Follow social media handle at jtimesports on all of your favorite social medias, wherever they may be. And let's get this show on the road. And our first topic is
So yesterday, by the time of this recording, we had a very important day in American history. Very
yes,
significant day.
huge.
Um, NFL trade deadline.
Yeah,
It was pretty disappointing, and that
it
other thing
was.
was pretty disappointing too.
Yeah,
If you
the
guys
other
said,
thing was not great. The college football playoff poll was not great.
"Oh,
Um,
damn, I wouldn't even talk about that." I was talking about how the Mexicans voted for Trump. All right,
yeah.
so
Oh, and women. All right. So, um,
again,
again, we really at a certain point, like at a certain
again,
point, we gotta
again,
like we just
twice
can't. Like at a certain point, people, and we
against
just
a
gotta
woman both times.
both times. The biggest hater of women is truly women, and that's the problem.
Facts.
It shows up every time it needs to. All right, but NFL trade deadline. Honestly, trade deadlines are losing their juice. Like, cause the NBA, everybody's doing that pre-agency thing where they just trade for the guy that we're gonna sign anyway a few months early. So the actual trade deadline is kind of like, you see a whole lot of Jose Alvarados, whole lot
And I
of
think in
Trey
the NFL
Jones.
trade deadline, it's a little bit more difficult because there's so many schematic things that have to go into making the NFL team.
Yeah,
Have
you
to go
gotta
into
move so
making
many
the NFL
pieces.
roster. It's so many pieces, and everybody has to do like a job.
That
And
very specific
so,
job. Mm.
yeah, so like it's difficult to just bring somebody in with that unless you're bringing somebody in extremely talented. But NFL players, NFL teams, they want to hold on to their talent because Tom Brady told y'all months ago that the league has gotten less talented because they keep pulling just kids that are athletic out of college,
And
i.e.,
not
Anthony
football
Richardson.
players. Yeah,
Yeah,
he sucks.
and so they're just pulling a bunch of good athletes out of college, and they expect them to walk into their potential, but they're not giving them no real time to develop. So whenever they do have somebody that's developed, they really aren't trying to move them. So very uneventful trade
Highly
deadline. A couple
uneventful.
of teams
I
got
think
kind of
Zadarius
better.
Smith might have been the biggest trade.
At first I would say Marshawn Lattimore, but looking at their production, is Darius Smith.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Zadarius Smith. Uh,
The Ravens
just
had a
kind of
couple of good trades.
scrolling through it. I mean, yeah, the Ravens trade deadline wasn't bad.
They got
Like I
Deontay
said, we Breeze.
Johnson and they got Tre'Davious White, which I think are like good
That's
cogs.
Tre'Davious White is better name value than he is football player at this point.
I mean, but they got him for a seventh round pick swap, so it
That's
honestly
fair. That's
it
fair.
can't be any worse. And their secondary has been garbage, but I think that's been more so of a scheme issue than a team issue. But I mean, it can't hurt
I'm
to have a playmaker back there.
I mean, Preston Smith could be interesting because
Preston Smith
he's
hasn't been
headed to
good since he
Pittsburgh.
was with Zadarius Smith. Last time Preston Smith was good, he was with Zadarius Smith. So
Smith brothers in Green Bay. Hey,
yeah,
see how we just digging for stuff here. Um, like I said, Lattimore was probably the biggest name move out of everybody. Saints actually got a pretty good haul back, getting a 3-4 and a 6. That's
yep,
actually fairly impressive GMing for a guy who's been beat up these last couple of years and starting to hit that wrong side of the age for a corner. So that's actually pretty solid GMing. But also Washington's going for it. Like,
I think
look,
Washington is putting on a master class on how to build around a rookie quarterback. Um, you know, they got a offensive coordinator that's familiar with what he ran in college, and that instead of trying to mold him into their system, you're just going to design his system around him in the NFL. You got
yes.
you got an experienced head coach who has connections in the league, so that kind of covers all the other areas, right? And then you already had, as bad as Washington was last year, they had a pretty good offense in terms of talent. Had good receivers, good backs. You bring in a good vet tight end like Zach Ertz. And the only issue was kind of like their defense, but Dan Campbell is such a great defensive mind. He was going to scheme his way up, and now you're just getting him chess pieces. So, I think Jaden Daniels, I said it. We both said it by draft. I said that whenever coming out, he was going to be the best one coming out, probably going to win Rookie of the Year. Highest ceiling, that's yet to be determined. But at least right now, he's doing exactly where he picked up. I mean, he played a lot of ball in college. So him going
And
to a
it shows.
team, yeah, it shows because he isn't doing as much of like the rookie mistakes. Him going to a team that's pretty stable offensively with an experienced offensive. Well, I'll give Cliff Kingsbury offensive genius, because I mean,
Okay?
offensively he makes him look good.
He does.
Offensively
And
he
he
makes him
doesn't
look
worry
good.
about controlling a whole team as a head coach. He can worry about doing his offense.
So yeah, so I would say big kudos to them out in Washington. The Chiefs, they kind of did their stuff a little early with getting D Hop.
Yeah, with DeAndre
They
Hopkins,
got
yeah.
Josh Uche like a week before, but he not really doing nothing in there. Didn't need a pass rusher. I thought that they were going to be in the mix for Lattimore, to be honest with you, because their
They
secondary.
were. I mean, they were. It's just when the Commanders came with a 3-4 and a 6, it was like we're not going to that.
Yeah. So,
So
who else? Who else? Like I said, Baltimore, they were solid. I thought they would do more. Buffalo got a couple of old players back. They were just released.
yeah,
But nobody else
and
really
then
did anything. Honestly,
I
those are the
didn't.
only true contenders because they could make any moves. San Francisco can't make any moves. They're pretty much strapped.
No,
And they're
yeah, they're
only
pretty much tied down.
historical value and roster, but they haven't been playing like it. Detroit made the move that they needed to make to replace Aiden Hutchinson because they are contenders.
Yeah,
Um, Baltimore is a contender in the AFC, and the Chiefs, they're undefeated, even though they don't really look like contenders. So, I mean, the names did what they were supposed to do for this little arms race. I think it's pretty much set up. But I think we've actually had a pretty good season, regardless of like these records, because it's like a 10-way log jam between like 2 and 7 teams. But let's get into
oh
some
yeah,
of
no,
this
I have no
recap.
idea what's going on with the middle of the NFL. It's just nonsense happening from like 5 wins down. Just stuff is happening. Not sure. I'm not sure what the stuff is. It's like the Panthers beat the Saints, and then who fired the coach? Like it's just stuff just started happening all of a sudden to the seventh. But we'll get to the bad later. Let's talk about the guys who are doing great. Our midseason superlatives. You want to go each award individually and just kind of go from
Yeah,
there?
yeah, let's go from there. Who do you have as your midseason MVP?
Gotta go Lamar, right? Like part of me wants to say Jared Goff, and like I would understand if it is Jared Goff. Um, it's just Lamar right now. I think it's kind of fading my own preseason prediction. In which case, I was like, the Derrick Henry signing is going to be useless. Which, still sticking by that. That's going to end up highly useless in the playoffs. Like that's going to end up pointless. I'm sticking to that. They're gonna lose the playoff game. He's gonna have 45 yards rushing, and it's just gonna be like told you. But at the moment, it's looking like one of the better moves of the offseason, if not the move of the offseason. So got to go with Lamar there. I think we need to get. I think it's close to him and Goff. The Ravens have this weird mysticism where it's like when they're good or when they win, oh, here's what the Ravens supposed to look like, and when they lose, magically, it's like the Earth rotated backwards that day, the sky turned purple. Like something went off where it wasn't on them. But I do think Jared Goff has to be a close second behind Lamar for MVP.
I don't think Jared Goff. I think the only reason why Jared Goff will be considered second, and he's playing great football. I'm a Jared Goff guy. Shout out to B-Rad, right? That was so funny connection. But I think Jared Goff is a top 10 quarterback. I said that going into the season. But no, he's not number 2. Number 2 is Josh Allen. Josh Allen has been having a phenomenal season. And because he got his ass kicked by Lamar, it looks a little worse. It looks a little worse. But if Lamar didn't exist, and Lamar's having a better season than I've ever seen him have. And he won the unanimous MVP and almost won a second unanimous one last year. I think the only reason why they gave him that MVP was just kind of because they had to give it to a quarterback. It should have been Christian McCaffrey. But this year,
Christian McCaffrey told me.
Yeah, but this year, no, he is playing the best I've ever seen him play. Derrick Henry playing the best I've ever seen him play. And it's just kind of like you have somebody that you can't tackle because they're so elusive. And they're also to throw the ball. And then you have somebody that you can't tackle because they're so big and fast.
And you don't want to tackle also. You don't want to tackle Derrick Henry.
So it's just kind of like, well, what do you do? So I wish they would have done a little bit more to address the wide receiver position, but that's neither here nor there. But yeah, so I got
also,
Lamar.
They have to get very specific wide receivers because they run the ball so much. So like most receivers aren't going to just turn around and block 30 times a game.
But you got to get playmaker wide receivers. You got to get wide receivers that are good. I don't think you can just get like pure deep threats. I think you got to get people that are good with the ball in their hands. They can like catch it and then do something with it.
That's
so
fair.
I think that's there. Rookie of the year. Rookie of the year. This is pretty unanimous.
It's
Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, it's Jaden Daniels.
Although Caleb put together a good 2 weeks.
Would have to get hurt.
Caleb put together a very good 2
weeks.
Jaden
at this point, it doesn't matter. Jaden would have to get hurt. Knock on wood. He'd have to get hurt. Yeah, that's the only way this award even becomes a conversation. He'd have to get hurt.
But I will say, as great as Jaden Daniels is playing, this isn't the rest of the rookies are playing bad.
No, not at all.
Caleb's
looked solid. Nix has had his moments. Like,
Nix has looked how I expected him to look, like a pro. Caleb Williams and Drake May looked how I expected them to look, have the talent, but needs to be polished.
Yes.
Right. In terms of wide receivers, nobody's really impressed me.
Nobody's really stand out.
Keon Coleman has a couple
nice
of good
with
games,
the Chargers.
but McConkey,
whatever his name is, Lad,
Big Lad.
His first name is Lad.
Big Lad. Lad has been solid. Defensive rookie, fucking Jared Verse, man.
Yeah, no, he's been a man. He has been a grown man.
He is the only person on the Rams defense that whenever I watch, I can okay, he's a game wrecker.
Yeah, he's going to cause havoc. Like, I would have loved to see him and Aaron Donald.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of what they were going for, just somebody that can just wreck the game on it because they really don't have any.
Yeah, because their defense was built on Donald's going to wreck the middle.
Right.
So then we know he's got to deal with the outside because AD's out the middle.
Although Quinyon Mitchell has been pretty good as well for Philly.
Yeah.
For Philly. Yeah, Philly, that kind of brings me to my offensive player of the year, Saquon.
Yeah. Saquon. Yeah. Offensive player of the year has turned into the MVP of quarterbacks didn't exist award. Yeah, okay, QB's gonna win the MVP. So if QBs didn't exist, who would be the MVP? Yeah, Saquon's a good one. If the Saints were better, I'd put Alvin Kamara in there, but the Saints suck.
Yeah, you can't be that bad.
I can't have a guy who's 2-7 talking about offensive player of the year.
Offensive player of the year.
Honestly, if Lamar doesn't win the MVP, Derrick Henry has a hell of a chance of offensive player of the year.
Yeah.
I can see the NFL voters going Josh Allen MVP and then Derrick Henry offensive player of the year. As a way to kind of acknowledge Derrick Henry's season. Yeah, because what Saquon is doing, no one's literally ever seen. So anytime you hurdle someone backwards,
right? Defensive player of the year. Aiden Hutchinson. I'm still should have been him.
It was honestly the way Detroit defense looked after. It still might be him. There wasn't nobody more valuable than him on defense because they started panicking immediately behind the pass rusher.
Nah, but defensive player of the year, I got Dexter Lawrence.
That's a good pick, Dexter Lawrence. Trying to somebody that stood out to me. Like it's a weird year for defense. There's been a lot of team defensive moments.
Very good
And
scheme. Very good scheme.
It's been very good scheme defense. Yeah, like I've seen great moments for a lot of people. I've seen Denzel Ward have teaching tape at corner. He's the one who had the stats to back it up, and he plays for Cleveland.
Right.
Dexter Lawrence played for the Giants. Like he's been great. He's for the Giants. So I can't even go with the usual Fred Warner. Like he's had a great season, but the Niners defense is,
maybe T.J. Watt, but he doesn't have the numbers.
He don't have a case. He don't have the numbers this year. Yeah, like it's like everybody.
It was supposed to be Aiden Hutchinson, yo. He was the only one. He was supposed to be Aiden Hutchinson. But I do say Dexter Lawrence because we were talking about Jerry Verse. Dexter Lawrence is that game breaker, and doing it in nose. I think that if you have a dominant nose tackle, like that's old school football. That's just a big man in the middle who 9 times out of 10 is getting there because he's beating your man. You don't scheme up a nose tackle. You just let that motherfucker go. And for him to be like second in sacks on the team that's leading the NFL in sacks,
that's impressive. That's impressive. Like I said, from the nose is highly impressive because their job is literally go through the person in front of you. There's no
stunts, no twists,
no nothing. The person snapping the ball, go through him as fast as you physically can. I guess I can go with Dexter Lawrence. I'll go with Dexter Lawrence with you on that one. Like I said, there's no one that's been like, oh my god, he's playing great defense. Like
exactly. It's just been a lot of good team defense, but I also want to say part of bad offense.
Honestly, to say why we offensive geniuses and no one can figure out how to stop 2 high safeties is mind blowing.
Because they all left to right, so that's they all the offensive geniuses just run the west.
I'll go sideways. Perfect.
So yeah,
so exactly what 2 high safeties.
That's what we're giving you.
Yeah. So he wants you to do.
So speaking of geniuses and coaches, who you got for your coach of the year?
Genius coach of the year. I don't want it to be Andy Reid. Kind of feels lazy. You really just pick the coach of the best record. It just feels lazy. Honestly, Mike Tomlin. The Steelers have no.
I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it because he made Justin Fields. Justin Fields tied his career high in wins.
He did it in like 6 weeks,
and he still got benched. Like, and then now Russell Wilson is looking. Russell's cooking now. Like,
Russ cooking. Hey, and that made Mike Tomlin just tap Justin Fields on the shoulder. Hey, buddy, we all know it's not you. We know you're not the reason this is happening.
I got Ben Johnson. Yeah. Yeah. Because listen, Dan Campbell, I like you. I think he's a good motivator. I think he's a good coach.
I think he's a hell of a motivator.
But
like he has motivation skills on 1,000.
Right. But
coaching, I don't know what he coaches. Like I don't know what he coaches. He's a great leader of men. He is that head coach. He is a leader of men. He's a culture setter. He can get you motivated to play, and he knows how to be great in the interview. Day-to-day coaching, that's a lot of Ben Johnson and whatever the defensive coordinator name is. I'm looking at Aaron Glenn.
Both have been showing out this year. Yeah, I'm not even gonna lie.
He has been a great leader of men. Kudos. I mean, just like John Harbaugh. John Harbaugh's specialist coordinator.
Yeah,
like he's just a great leader of men. Like I don't necessarily do the day-to-day strategic coaching. Like that's their job. Like I'm here to lead the team. But yeah, Tomlin, Dan Quinn. I know he's gonna get a lot of votes. Dan Quinn's gonna get a lot of votes because of what's happening in Washington. Again, Washington's 7-2.
I kind of want to say Kevin O'Connell. I think his name should be in the mix there too.
Honestly, yeah, losing the guy you thought was going to start 2 weeks out,
and then you're putting Sam Darnold in there, who Colin Cowherd are the only people that didn't think he was just dog shit. So
my guy and Kevin O'Connell.
Yeah.
So
sounds I like Kevin O'Connell.
Sounds like Kevin needs Coach of the Year, and we need Analyst of the Year. That's what it sounds like. That's what I'm getting.
Yeah,
we saw around the corner.
Those are probably the Coaches of the Year. So
yeah,
last two, I guess last three things. So or give me your conference champ. Give me your Super Bowl matchup right now. Midseason Super Bowl matchup. And
if I had to pick right now, I don't know who's coming out of the NFC. I feel like at this point, it's got to be the Bills' turn in the AFC. Like, if you're gonna get the Chiefs, it has to be this year. Like, this is one of those. Cause I think Joe Brady's gonna end up with the Saints head coaching job. That's my early prediction. Is that Joe Brady's gonna end up the head man in New Orleans, and you can't just keep replacing great offensive guys and keep winning. Like, it just doesn't work that way. So I think if Buffalo's gonna get them, it's got to be this year. This Chiefs team remind me of that Pittsburgh Steelers team that was like 10-1. And everybody was like,
yeah, they play horrible. I don't know why
they bad for 3.5 quarters, and then puts 2 drives
and they be
together.
like Mahomes, do something.
Yeah, Mahomes put 2 drives together, and then they win the game. And it's like eventually that magic has to run out, right?
Right.
Like I think the Bills got out of the AFC. In the NFC, it feels like whoever has home field. Like, it feels like if it goes through Detroit's probably going to win it. But if Detroit has to go, let's say, on the road at Philly for the conference championship game in a blizzard, like, so it kind of feels whoever gets home field. So because of there's more chances this ends up outside than in, I'm not going to pick the Lions. I'm going to dark horse it. I'm going to dark horse it in the NFC. I got a strange feeling about the Packers.
You bitch. Oh, I hate you.
Something about the Packers. I got a strange feeling.
They were my preseason pick.
I got a strange feeling about the Packers. And I watched them against the Lions, and Love was a little gimpy. And having a growing injury on a wet field is a horrible combination because now you're not even trying to play it. You're just trying to step through everything.
He hasn't had the chance to get any kind of rhythm because he got hurt.
He's been in and out.
Came back and then got hurt again. So,
and he had the contract stuff. So he's been kind of in and out all season. But yeah, so right now I probably do Bills and Packers. I don't know. I don't know what Super Bowl is this year. Oh, it's in New Orleans.
It's New Orleans. Yeah. If the Packers go to the Super Bowl and they don't have Lil Wayne perform, I am going. I might boycott the Super Bowl for him.
That actually might be criminal. At that point, the Packers might bring Lil Wayne.
If the Packers make the Super Bowl, the NFL got to be like, "Come on, bro, you got to give him a set.
You got to bring him on there.
You got to do something.
His teams in the Super Bowl in his city.
If the Packers make it to the Super Bowl, fuck whatever you put together for Kendrick Lamar. We got to
change the set. We got to change the set. For like 10 minutes.
Lil Wayne to the Packers is like Taylor Swift to the Chiefs.
It's like Spike Lee to the Knicks.
Yeah, it's synonymous. Like at this point, come on, man.
Playoff game. Yeah, like Lil Wayne was outside in Lambeau Field in like 10-degree weather.
Remember he ran out with the team last year. Like he ran out.
Yeah, and it's like snowing sideways. And it's like everybody else, Rich is like inside the box. He's like, hell no, like it is my team. I'm outside.
This from Knife Ward, New Orleans, in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Like, come on, bro. Like that. I'm sorry. NFL.
He's got it.
NFL. If the Packers make it, do the right thing. But anyway.
Yeah. But anyway. Packers Bills. It's in New Orleans. I'm just gonna stick with that. If the Bills are gonna win it, it's got to be this year. So at this point, I go with the Bills. If they win it, it's got to be this year.
So Packers were my preseason pick. Like you, though, I am going with a dark horse from what I've seen as of late.
Okay.
The Los Angeles Rams will come out the NFC.
Wow.
Matt Stafford, one of my new favorite quarterbacks.
Oh, no.
You know
me. You can't. No. Hell no. You are not allowed to go with Matt
I'm a
Stafford.
Stafford guy now.
Oh hell no, hell no, you're not. Nope.
Matt Stafford, and who I think is the best coach in the NFL, and Sean McVay. I think he's the best coach in the NFL. I think now that he got his horses back, I think they run the table, and I think they run the table. I think at the very least they make to the NFC Championship. But I'm gonna go ahead just for sake of difference because I had the Packers. But just for the sake of just to spice it up, I'm gonna have the Rams come out of the NFC. I have the AFC. Josh Allen, my second or third favorite quarterback. You know, my favorite quarterback right now is Drake May.
Nah. I'll give you the Josh Allen thing because you've been a Josh Allen guy even when it's very unpopular. But you're not allowed to join the Matt Stafford fandom. You're not.
They're the same. They the
no,
same
you're not.
guy.
I don't
One
care.
just run.
I
Just
could
run.
care
One
less.
just run a little better.
No, we're not doing it.
But anyway, yeah. As much as I would love for Josh Allen to come out, I think it is Lamar's turn because, like, very similar to the Joe Brady thing. I think this is if Lamar don't win it this year, which that's kind of how I felt last year, but it's kind of like last year. You was like the Chiefs. It was a roster issue, right?
Yeah.
And so they had to gel. Now the roster is pretty much the same, and they got a little better, and they still funky. Now it's a play issue. And Ravens, y'all hitting on all cylinders. If Lamar does not get it done, I don't want to be like, oh, if he doesn't get it done now, because he's only like 27. But if he doesn't get it done now, I don't know when he'll do it again. Not saying that he can't. I don't see it because if the Ravens don't get to the Super Bowl, a drastic change is going to happen.
They have to.
I think Harbaugh is going to be fired if the Ravens don't get to the Super Bowl.
Fired is harsh.
He's going to be fired, or he might be elevated to a senior role.
They slide him to
some in the front office, but he's not going to be on the sidelines. I'll tell you that.
Like the AFC is the conference of like them young dudes are coming. Like Stroud is not far off. Like he's basically at the point where just give me my dollars, we can run. Like just give me who I need, we can go. You know what I'm saying? Like there's gonna be new signal callers in a few AFC places. The Las Vegas Raiders roster ain't that bad.
There isn't too many. I'll say, I'll be honest, at least for a play calling or even like a head coaching aspect, it's gonna be a lot of AFC jobs available.
A lot of AFC jobs available. I think
Cincinnati's
gonna come open.
Cincinnati's gonna have a whole new head coach.
Jacksonville's gonna have a new head coach. Jacksonville's gonna have a new head
coach.
So I was saying, a guy like Ben Johnson, who we see what he's doing with Goff, there's no disrespect to Goff. Goff can play. But a guy like that, you give him a Trevor Lawrence, you give him a Joe Burrow, you give him potentially a Shedeur Sanders or a Cam Ward in Vegas. That's gonna be a show.
Different.
Yeah, like that's gonna be a show.
Fuck that. New York, give him Aaron Rodgers.
I don't know what Aaron Rodgers got left to give you. I ain't gonna lie.
If you can squeeze a year out of Aaron Rodgers.
That's true.
Well,
that's true.
Yeah, come on. He can still spin it. Spin it.
Yeah, but think about it. That's another 12 months from now.
True.
It ain't like he going today. I mean,
even outside of just pure play calling, you look at the offensive coordinators. New England, they're gonna have a new offensive coordinator.
A lot of seats gonna be open.
Please be Nick Haley. So Lamar, Ravens, you gotta get to the Super Bowl this year, man. Like
it's gotta get done. Like
even if you lose, you're gonna be forever stained because now I ain't gonna lie, whenever you pull off this third MVP, you pulled some shit out of the hat, buddy, to win it like that because them playoff losses and it's still fresh in everybody's mind. And like you play worse in the playoffs. It's statistically proven. Considerably worse. If you stayed the same, you'd have a Super Bowl by now. But you played
if he lost games, and I'd say like all playoff losses ain't equal. Like if he lost games 35-38, all right, cool. You're losing like 20-10. Like you're not doing anything. Like,
Yeah, bro. It's
I've
like, come
made the
on.
joke, but Derrick Henry played you in a playoff game and had more passing touchdowns than he did.
Yeah,
Like,
that's crazy.
yeah, in Baltimore. Like, like at a
Yeah.
certain point, we have to we have to at least give some facsimile of what we're seeing in the regular season of the playoffs.
So, but let's go ahead and close out football with a quick who's fired. So we kind of touched on it with all different coaching changes. The Raiders fired the whole offensive staff.
They they
Awesome.
they,
Dennis
they
Allen got
fired
fired.
like the Raiders fired Antonio Pierce. You're an interesting person. You fired the dudes you hired 6 months ago, and your answer is let's elevate Scott Turner and hire his father. Uh, it's very Mark Davis like move. Jesus,
I ain't gonna
Mark Davis not
lie.
his father.
Tom Brady is not a Tom Brady. Better be like,
Tom Brady he can't go to work and see Antonio Pierce in the head coach office and be like, that's good. Like, yeah, it's just like he can't show up in the office and be like, all right, guys, ownership meeting, and then look at like
Antonio
Antonio
Pierce
Pierce
is
and that
out of
takes.
there because he was picked by the players that are
They're
gone
no
now.
longer there. Yeah.
They don't want to be there.
I was about to say that also hated the team in like 2 months after into the season.
Yeah. So,
So that was a dumb idea.
our coach
Um,
Rod Mayo has been on a hot seat. You think he had any
he,
chance he gets fired?
he was on a hot seat because he's black in Boston. I said it.
Honestly, yeah, I think that's it. Because I actually was like, damn, I knew it would be just as bad as last year, but it just feels bad. But then I looked at the record this time last year, we were exactly 2-7. So
Yeah.
if we were 2-7 with the greatest coach of all time, us being 2-7 with a rookie head coach, yeah,
Like
yeah,
and then you're following a legend.
yeah,
So it's not like you're in a position where I'm judged on me. I'm judged against him.
yeah.
That's
And you're not
like
even judged against like the him that was ass. You judged
you're
against
you're judged against all the
Super Bowls.
banners you walk under when you walk in. Yeah, like that's not fair.
Yeah. So, Doug Peterson.
Uh, I think Dougie P is next. I think Dougie P and Zach Taylor are in a freaking race. The only thing is though, like guy like that Bengals offense may keep Zach Taylor's job all year.
Oh, so you
I
saying
think
Zach
Dougie.
Taylor's $55 million quarterback is actually good, and Doug Peterson's isn't?
I'm saying that Dougie P is bad at his job and he's bragging out Trevor Lawrence. That's what I'm saying.
I don't think that could
Um,
be as bad as his job. I think Doug Peterson in Cincinnati would be better than Zach Taylor in
I agree.
Jacksonville.
I feel like Zach Taylor should be offensive coordinating how to do a shaker Dairy Queen. Um, and I feel like Doug Peterson has a future in the NFL. Like I feel like if Doug Peterson wanted an OC job, I would like if Doug Peterson became the OC of the Patriots, I'd be like, I'm okay with this.
Nah, I
Right?
want a young guy. Give me a young guy that's gonna have motion. Literally, like
What
call
literally
him
like go guys
cheat
across the
motions.
field.
Yeah.
I like
Matt
literally go across.
Eberflus. That's been a hot topic
I
this
don't
week.
understand that one. That one I don't get.
Really? Really?
Yeah, I don't get that one.
I'm surprised he still had his job because they redid the
Now,
entire offensive staff.
now I'm surprised he had his job going into the year. Now
Right.
that I'm totally surprised by. Because if you're gonna fire the whole offensive staff from above, you kind of got to fire the guy who hired them, right? Like I'm totally okay with that. But at this point, you kind of like it's progressing. Like it's starting to move. Like I don't like Chicago has a solid chance at the playoffs. Like I don't understand that one.
But this is why I think the man when the players in the locker room they're saying
Not
that
again. That
did
was
the coach
bullshit.
lose the locker room? I won't say no.
Yeah, yeah,
And
that's
then
not great.
following that same guy that said that walked out of the field mid play. Now you
And
trying
that's
to say
like
some shit like he rolled his ankle and I hobbled off. No, you didn't, bro. You jogged off.
we saw it, but that's the same thing I said about Dennis Allen. And I was like, you can survive an injury-riddled season because you can't stop injuries, right? You were 2-0 when you were healthy, and then
Yeah.
everybody got hurt in a 2 week span, and you were 2-7. Whenever you got guys like Alvin Kamara going, yeah, we have faith in the roster, but it's other things we don't have faith in. Okay, like that's where you got to go, right? Like whenever, and then you know it's bad because the interim coach, they ask him about it, and he goes, "Yeah, we've done the same thing for years. I think we need to switch up." And then he starts changing stuff, and all the players are like, "This is way better." Yeah,
I think if the Bears lose, if the Bears lose to the Patriots, because this is that'll be the equivalent of the Saints losing to the Panthers. I
yeah.
think Eberflus is gone. And you know what I really think put a lot of fuel to that fire? The story that Ben Johnson said that the only job he wanted was Chicago, and they had the opportunity to get him.
And it's
And
just
then
like
now you got him in your division,
kicking ass.
kicking everybody's ass. And I'm sure that it's like, man. So imagine Ben Johnson with Caleb Williams, Roma
Oh
Dunze,
God, DJ Moore,
DJ Moore, Keenan Allen. You
Jesus
know, I don't
Christ.
know what the hell Shane Waldron is doing. They came from the same tree. Shane Waldron was supposed to be credited with the guy to reinvigorate Geno Smith. But also, side note, shout out Geno, leading the NFL in passing yards.
Shout out Geno, right? And then Stafford beat him. All right. Let's see. Is
There's
there
nowhere
anybody
Stafford
else? No. I'm a Stafford guy. You are the Rob Parker of our group chat. That is totally different.
Pat
You,
Stafford. Pat Stafford.
Stat Padford.
Oh, but no.
Oh,
I can't think of anybody else that might be fired. Well, shit.
that,
I would say I don't think the Titans are gonna fire Callahan. I think Will Levis is gonna be fired. But I think they're in a
I
quarterback
think what you
mix.
call it's in danger. Canellis in Carolina.
Nah, I don't think so. I don't think any young coach is gonna be out of there after a year. I think they're more likely to make a quarterback change. I'll
Which
say
they
that.
should. Because Bryce Young is the same height as like my godson who's the four. Um,
All
so
right. Yeah, well, that was our good little NFL recap. Just go ahead before we get out of here. Early hoop thoughts. NBA season kicked off. Well, I still call it preseason, but
before Christmas,
FanDuel's
who
calling the
cares?
regular season. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, before Christmas, who cares? Um, there's a lot of mess happening in the NBA. And I feel like the NBA is running into a problem that its fans created, but its media stoked. And it's ring culture.
Okay. Okay.
Like Kawhi, let's just use Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard could play 45 games this year, win a championship, and it's going to be praying that he's the best player on the planet. Like, but if he plays 82 games, wins MVP, and loses in the conference finals because he's hurt, they're going to say, man, he should have rested. Like, you're killing your own product. Also, I'm just going to say this. It's just, hey, I'm going to put it on Front Street here. 6'6" white boy shooting 35 threes a game is not fun to watch. It's just not. It's just not I'm sorry, Boston. It's boring. Sam Hauser standing in the corner. Like,
Stop it,
who
then.
else I got over there? Like, just
No,
boring.
no, 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 no. We're not about to say that Boston is boring because they did what Houston couldn't. They actually won the championship doing that bullshit, shooting all them fucking threes. So,
Yeah, no,
and it's early.
I'm not just using Boston though. There's teams that can't shoot threes. That just fire 45, 50 threes a game because three's worth more than two, and in basketball, it's worth substantially more than two. Like,
Yeah,
let's just use common sense, run the arc into the sideline how it's supposed to be, take out the corner three, and goddamn dunk on somebody. Like,
yeah. Take out
it's
the corner
just
three. I think if you take out the corner three, that's going to like really. You're gonna need to have playmakers
it
on the floor
changes
on the court.
basketball because now you
You
got to
have to have
dribble.
playmakers on the court. You
You got
can't
to
have people
dribble
that can't dribble no more.
because if I run you off the wing, you run into the corner. If you want to do that 22'2", go for it. Bruh, it's insane. Like, Brook Lopez was able to hang in the NBA long enough because he could stand in the corner and shoot a three, and it's worth three instead of two. If
Yep.
those shots were worth two, Brook Lopez was probably out of the league 4 or 5 years ago.
Rapid fire. About to give you some rapid fire. Just want some quick thoughts on it. Okay, 1, Doc Rivers and the
Sucks.
Bucks 1-6.
Sucks. He's
That's
awful.
it.
Get him out of here. Never. I'd rather Lawrence Fishburne. Next.
All right. Pelicans losing pretty much fucking everybody early in the season.
Voodoo. Got to get rid of that. I don't know who curses. Got to get rid of that.
All right. Draymond giving shout out to Jordan Poole and kind of talking like he's retired already. How you go about that guy?
Media Draymond is weird. He's gotten nice all of a sudden. It's just odd. He's definitely perfect for his TNT career. It's just weird.
Very weird. Shit. What was the other one that I had? Damn, it was a good one. I'll come back to it. TNT's last season, man. TNT inside the NBA.
It's sad.
It's sad, but I like it. Chuck be wilding.
Charles don't care. Charles said it multiple times. What they gonna do? Fire us? Like it's like, what you gonna do? You can't hold a contract over our heads. We don't have one. Well, he does, but like the show doesn't. Yeah, he's been very open about what I want to do now.
Who's the realest young nigga? Ja Morant and Anthony Edwards.
That shit. LaMelo Ball got a case. He has no PR training. This Negro. Oh my God. Him in front of a live mic got to be the scariest thing for Adam Silver in life.
He's from Chino Hills, and he makes it his mission to talk like a nigger from East Atlanta.
He does. He makes it his personal goal to sound like he's never lived in a place called Chino Hills in his life. I don't know what's scarier for Adam Silver. Him with a live mic or John Morant on Instagram Live. I'm not sure what is scarier for Adam Silver. Both in poorly.
Facts. And final thoughts. Bronny and Bron. How the Lakers season gonna shake down? I love how JJ Redick kind of just like cut that shit out like kind of fast. He was like, all right.
We're done with that. Yeah, that was cool. He was smart.
He was smart about it. He let him have Cleveland, and now I was like, all right.
That's it. It's over with. So you're gonna go to the G League where you belong, buddy. This was fun. This was fun. But we're done with that situation. I mean, he's gonna play 20 games ish on the main roster. He has to, because he has an NBA guaranteed contract. So he can't just be on the G League all year. So he's got to go. He's got to waffle back and forth. It'll be a lot of home games. I expect it to be like Lakers host, who sucks, the Wizards, right? Where he can get on the court, can play a little bit, back and forth. Lakers host Knicks when Knicks are resting people. It'll be games like that where he can get on the floor and not get Magic right now without Paolo, because without Paolo they're basically trash. So those kind of games I expect him to jump on. Other than that, he's gonna sell a lot of South Bay Lakers tickets. The main Red Claws are gonna love him when he comes south. Right?
Thanks. Well, Jack, that's all I got.
Yeah, that's all I got as well. Oh, quick thing. Who's your Heisman winner right now?
Cam Ward.
I like it. I do. I like it.
Purely off eye test, I know everybody wants to be on GNT's nuts because he's getting all those yards. And don't get me wrong, he's having like Ezekiel Elliott type season. And if y'all may know Fat Slow Zeke now, but Zeke at Ohio State.
Ohio State Zeke? With the shirt rolled up and the abs out?
Yeah. So he's having one of those type seasons. I saw something the other day that kind of made me reevaluate how I look at Travis Hunter, at least in terms of the Heisman, not in terms of a player. But they was like, Travis Hunter is going to win the Heisman by showing that if you're an average cornerback and an average wide receiver, but you just do both at the same time, that makes you an elite player.
He's not average at either, though. He's very
average. He's very average at wide receiver.
He's very average wide receiver. He's an athlete playing wide receiver, and that's why I hate the debate of if he's going to be an NFL corner.
Any coach with some sense is going to make him a corner.
No, like I said, I would say all the time in high school, he's the top 5 rated receiver ever, and the top 5 rated corner ever. He just happened to be the same person, which is insane, right? But if he was purely a corner, he's a top 7 pick. If he's purely a receiver, he's second round ish.
If he says that I'm going to be a corner, he's the number 1 pick in the draft.
Easily.
Because he's so good as a defender, and he just got the instinct for it.
People beat him because he's bored.
That tweener shit, I think that's gonna knock him down 1 or 2, and I think somebody's gonna like be hyped for a quarterback. But that also shows you how good Shador is, because his best wide receiver isn't like one of them dogs wide receivers.
His best wide receiver is a corner.
His best wide receiver is a corner.
So,
and I told nigga Shador's the best quarterback in the country right now.
Shador's the best quarterback in the country. Shador's a top 20 quarterback on the planet Earth right now.
But boy, Cam Ward,
that nigga.
When you watch him play,
quarterback.
It's so much poise. He has so much poise. It's just kind of like,
I don't know what he's going to be in the NFL.
Not small, but he's short.
I don't know what he's going to be in the NFL, but he's going to be the guy that's like, man, how didn't Cam Ward work? Like, he's going to be a guy you have to get to a system that can develop him. I don't want him in Vegas. Vegas
he's not going to be in Vegas. You think Tom Brady's not about to let his protege? I'm going to tell you exactly what's going to happen. Tom Brady's going to call up Robert Kraft, and he's going to be like, hey, Rob, we're going to give you 2 or 3 first-round picks. Trade back, get that number 1 pick. He's going to draft his protege, Shador, right?
Yeah. They've been training Shador like in high school.
Patriots going to take like 2 or 3 picks, get some linemen and tackles. Hopefully they don't fuck it up.
Please,
you know what I'm saying? Just get Will Campbell. It's not to be hard.
It's really simple. Just see Will Campbell.
Right? Damn, then Brian Daboll can be like, fuck. We missed out on Shador. Who's next? Then he's gonna have to like plead with the mayors to be like, should we get a black quarterback? Haley, please? And they're gonna be like, no, take Carson Beck. So
draft Quinn Ewers right
He's gonna get Carson Beck or Quinn Ewers, and then after that, then the Panthers are gonna be like, hey, we know we had a short quarterback already, but let's get this guy Cam Ward. Remember Cam Newton? They're basically the same guy. He's just smaller. So then they're gonna take Cam Ward.
A little bit shorter. He's a little bit shorter.
They're gonna take Cam Ward. And then fucking Gus Meyer is gonna go in like the 2nd round somewhere and just have like a cool season.
Mike McDaniel's gonna go to his owner and be like, hey, I know I'm kind of black, but there's this actual black guy. Pretty nice.
I ain't gonna lie, Dolphins should get a quarterback.
Dolphins have to get a quarterback.
I would ship 2 off to the highest bidder and get a quarterback.
I would as well. Or if you're not gonna ship 2 off, I would trade up late 1st round if Garrett Nussmeier sitting there drafting. So at least at that point, the 2 gets his head taken off again. Your season's not over.
Right.
But that is officially all I have as well.
All right, boss. So
yeah,
I will holler at you later. My dog is getting restless, so I hope this don't come back in the audio. But
just a little bit, but it's all right. It's all right. We like Scooby. The fan base likes Scooby. It's okay. Scooby's
They do. Analytics say so.
Every time he barks, Spike goes up in attendance. It's okay.
Right.
It's we like Scooby.
But all right, family. We
all right, buddy.
are out.